Imagine standing at the edge of your future, peering into the vast expanse of possibility that lies before you. I once witnessed something extraordinary. A young entrepreneur showed me two photographs taken 18 months apart. The first showed him surrounded by takeout containers and gaming controllers, lost in the comfort of mediocrity. The second captured him receiving an award for creating $1 million tech startup. Same person, different choices, radical results. Here's something that might shock you. Research shows that the average person uses only about 40% of their actual potential. If your smartphone operated at 40% capacity, you'd return it. If your car gave you 40% performance, you'd fix it. Yet somehow we've normalized this massive underutilization of our own capabilities. Every single day I encounter individuals literally sleeping through their destiny. They're not incapable people, they're comfortable people. And comfort, my friends, is the most expensive price you'll ever pay for giving up on your dreams. The cost? Your untapped potential, your unrealized vision, and the lives you could have impacted but never did. Right now, someone somewhere is pushing through their barriers while others rest in their excuses. Someone is training while others are sleeping. The question isn't whether you have the capacity for greatness. You do. The real question is, how long will you allow laziness to rob you of the extraordinary life you were designed to live? Let's dissect what we really mean when we talk about laziness, because there's a crucial distinction we need to understand. Rest, true, purposeful rest is not laziness. When an athlete rests between training sessions, that's strategic recovery. When a business leader takes time to recharge, that's intelligent energy management. But laziness? Laziness is the art of making excuses feel like wisdom. True laziness operates like a sophisticated virus in your life. It doesn't announce itself with a banner saying, "Hello, I'm here to destroy your dreams." Instead, it shows up as reasonable justification. I'll start when I'm more prepared. I need to wait for the perfect timing. I'm just being realistic about my circumstances. These aren't rational thoughts. They're laziness wearing the mask of logic. The psychology of procrastination, laziness's favorite child, is particularly fascinating. When you delay action, your brain actually experiences temporary relief, a small hit of pleasure that comes from avoiding discomfort. This creates a dangerous cycle. Each time you choose comfort over growth, you strengthen neural pathways that make future procrastination more likely. You're not just putting off success, you're actively training yourself to fail. But here's where it gets personal. Every time you surrender to laziness, you're not just losing time, you're losing life force. Dreams don't expire quietly. They die in small moments. That business you never started, it's helping someone else's bank account grow. That book you never wrote, someone else is signing their name on that story. That health goal you keep putting off, your vitality is quietly slipping away while you plan to start next Monday. The compound effect of delayed action is staggering. If you save $100 today versus a year from now, the difference isn't just $100. It's $100 plus all the potential growth and opportunities that money could have generated. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Relationships wither, not from dramatic arguments, but from the lazy choice to not make that call, not have that conversation, not show up fully. Most devastatingly, laziness doesn't just affect your achievements, it reshapes your identity. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you're silently telling yourself, this is who I am. I'm the kind of person who gives up, who takes the easy way out, who settles for less. Your actions don't just determine your results, they determine your self-image, your sense of what's possible, and ultimately, your destiny. The cost of laziness isn't measured in days or dollars, it's measured in destiny. Every moment you spend in unnecessary comfort is a moment you're trading away your potential for temporary peace. And here's the brutal truth, that peace isn't even real. Deep down in those quiet moments when you're truly honest with yourself, laziness doesn't bring contentment. It brings regret, anxiety, and the gnawing awareness that you're capable of so much more. Let's confront the most uncomfortable truth about laziness. It is entirely, unequivocally, a choice. Every time you choose inaction, you're making an active decision. The myth of natural motivation has deceived millions into waiting for inspiration to strike, as if success were a lightning bolt rather than a deliberate construction. Some people believe that highly successful individuals were blessed with an abundance of natural motivation, but this is a comforting lie we tell ourselves to justify our own inaction. Here's the raw truth that nobody wants to hear. Your current state of life is the sum total of your choices, not your circumstances. The most dangerous prison is the one where you convince yourself that you're stuck. I'm just not a morning person. I don't have the energy they have. My situation is different. These aren't explanations. They're excuses masquerading as identity. Success demands a level of discomfort that most people are unwilling to embrace. Your body, your mind, and your spirit grow through resistance, not comfort. Think about how muscles develop. They require the stress of weight and resistance to grow stronger. Your capabilities develop in exactly the same way. Every time you push through discomfort, you're literally rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that make future challenges easier to overcome. The biology of growth through stress is fascinating. Scientists call it hormesis, the biological principle where controlled exposure to stress makes an organism stronger. Just as a vaccine works by introducing a controlled challenge to your immune system, personal growth occurs when you deliberately expose yourself to difficulties. But here's what most people miss. This process is supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Your brain is programmed to conserve energy and avoid stress. It's a survival mechanism from our ancestral past. But in today's world, this same mechanism that once protected us now holds us back. Every time you feel resistance toward important work, that's not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you're approaching an opportunity for growth. The discomfort you feel when facing a challenge isn't a warning sign, it's a growing pain. This is where the real separation occurs between those who achieve their dreams and those who merely dream about achieving. The achievers have learned to embrace discomfort as a compass pointing toward growth. They don't wait for motivation, they act in spite of its absence. They understand that motivation isn't the precursor to action, it's the product of action. The path to excellence is paved with deliberate discomfort. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They've learned to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. They've trained themselves to do what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel in the moment. This isn't about natural talent or lucky circumstances. It's about the deliberate choice to push through resistance when every fiber of your being is screaming for comfort. Now let's dissect the 7 deadly habits that keep people trapped in the prison of laziness. These aren't just bad habits. They're life sentences if you allow them to persist. First, excuses as life strategy. The most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves. I'm too old to start. I don't have enough resources. The market is too saturated. Listen carefully to your daily dialogue. Are you creating strategies or are you crafting excuses? The victim mentality is a masterful thief. It steals your power while making you feel justified in your inaction. Every time you blame circumstances, you surrender your power to change them. Second, comfort zone addiction. This is perhaps the most insidious of all habits because it feels so safe, so reasonable. Your comfort zone isn't really comfortable. It's a cage that feels like a sanctuary. What you perceive as security is actually slow decay. The irony is painful. People stay in their comfort zones to feel safe, yet there's nothing more dangerous than becoming obsolete in a rapidly changing world. The high cost of low expectations isn't paid all at once. It's deducted from your life daily, in small, seemingly insignificant moments of choosing comfort over growth. Third, energy mismanagement. In today's world, being busy is not the same as being productive. People waste their peak energy hours scrolling through social media, then wonder why they can't focus when it's time for important work. Digital distractions aren't just stealing your time, they're hijacking your life force. Poor sleep habits and lack of physical movement aren't just health issues, they're success inhibitors. Your energy is your most valuable currency, yet most people spend it like they've got an unlimited supply. Fourth, goal ambiguity. Vague goals produce vague results. How many people say they want to be successful, but can't define what success looks like for them? Without crystal clear objectives and deadlines, you're not planning. You're wishful thinking. A goal without a deadline is just a dream, and dreams without deadlines become regrets. Fifth, environmental toxicity. Your environment shapes your actions more than willpower ever will. Negative associations, cluttered spaces, and time-wasting routines aren't just background noise. They're active participants in your failure. The people you spend time with, the space you work in, the information you consume, these aren't neutral factors. They're either elevating you or draining you. Sixth, knowledge without action. We live in the information age, but we're dying of implementation paralysis. People attend seminars, read books, watch tutorials, constantly consuming information but never creating results. Knowledge without action creates the illusion of progress. It's like reading about fitness while sitting on the couch. You might know everything about building muscle, but your body won't change until you start lifting weights. Seventh, resistance to change. The fixed mindset is a fortress built to protect you from the discomfort of growth. Fear of failure isn't just an emotion, it's a lifestyle choice. People would rather stay in familiar pain than step into unfamiliar potential. They're so attached to their current identity that they reject any evidence suggesting they could be more. These 7 habits create a deadly spiral. Each one reinforces the others, creating a web of inaction that becomes harder to break free from with each passing day. But here's the empowering truth. Just as these habits were learned, they can be unlearned. Just as these patterns were built, they can be broken. The most dangerous aspect of these habits isn't their individual impact, it's their cumulative effect. Together, they don't just prevent success, they guarantee failure. They don't just slow progress, they reverse it. Every day you allow these habits to persist is a day you're actively choosing to live below your potential. Now that we've identified the deadly habits, let's decode the exact protocol for transformation. This isn't just another set of tips. This is your blueprint for demolishing laziness and building unstoppable momentum. Let's start with the mindset revolution. Your current identity is simply a collection of beliefs you've accumulated over time. To transform your life, you must first transform your self-image. Start by auditing your self-talk. Every time you say, "I am," you're programming your subconscious mind. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be more productive," state, "I am productive." Instead of, "I'm working on being disciplined," declare, "I am disciplined." This isn't fake positivity, it's identity reconstruction. The key to this mental reprogramming is creating new evidence to support your desired identity. If you claim to be disciplined, your actions must align with that claim. Start small, but be consistent. 1 completed task, 1 workout, 1 productive morning. These become reference points your brain uses to validate your new identity. Your brain craves consistency between your beliefs and actions. Give it evidence of your new identity, and it will drive you to create more evidence. Next, let's tackle the energy management system. Your energy, not your time, is your most critical resource. Map out your peak performance hours, those golden windows when your focus and creativity are at their highest. Guard these hours like a fortress. No social media, no low-priority tasks, no meaningless meetings during these times. Create an energy audit spreadsheet. Track what energizes you and what drains you. Then ruthlessly eliminate energy vampires from your life. Physical vitality is non-negotiable. Your body is the vehicle that carries your dreams. Implement the trifecta of energy: quality sleep, strategic nutrition, and consistent movement. But here's the key: don't wait for motivation. Create a system that makes physical well-being automatic. Put your workout clothes next to your bed. Prep your meals in advance. Make your environment work for you, not against you. The action acceleration framework is where rubber meets road. Implement the 5-second rule. The moment you think of an important action, count backward from 5, then move. This bypasses your brain's resistance response. Create momentum-building sequences, small wins that lead to bigger victories. Track everything. What gets measured gets improved. Use a progress tracking system that makes your growth visible. Seeing progress, even small progress, creates motivation for more action. Environment design is crucial for sustained transformation. Your space shapes your behavior more than willpower ever will. Optimize your physical space for action, not comfort. Create a dedicated workspace that triggers productivity. Use visual cues, vision boards, progress charts, deadline calendars to keep your goals constantly in focus. But don't stop at physical space. Upgrade your social environment. The 5 people you spend the most time with shape your standards. Find progress partners who pull you forward, not anchors who hold you back. Finally, implement the accountability architecture. Public commitments create social pressure that drives action. Share your goals with people whose opinion you value. Create consequence settings, both positive rewards and meaningful penalties for your actions or lack thereof. Find an accountability partner who's committed to excellence, not someone who will accept your excuses. Set up regular check-ins where you review your progress, adjust your strategies, and recommit to your goals. Here's the critical element that brings this all together: integration. Each component of this protocol reinforces the others. Your mindset shifts create energy. Increased energy enables more action. Action reshapes your environment. Your environment supports your new identity. It's a self-reinforcing cycle of growth. But remember this, transformation isn't an event. It's a process. You're not just changing habits, you're rebuilding your entire operating system. Expect resistance. Expect discomfort. These aren't signs of failure, they're indicators of growth. The key is to make these changes systematic and sustainable. Start implementing this protocol not as a temporary fix, but as your new standard operating procedure. The goal isn't to overcome laziness for a day or a week. It's to make high performance your default state. Your new identity isn't someone who's trying to be productive, it's someone who simply is productive. The difference is subtle but profound. This protocol isn't just about doing more, it's about becoming more. It's about closing the gap between who you are and who you know you could be. The transformation starts the moment you decide that your potential is more important than your comfort. Now transform all this knowledge into immediate actionable steps. No more waiting, no more planning to plan. We're going to initiate your transformation in the next 24 hours and then scale it across the next 30 days. Here's your 24-hour challenge. In the next 24 hours, you will complete 3 high-impact actions. First, clear your primary workspace completely. Empty every drawer, remove every distraction, and reorganize it for pure productivity. This physical act of clearing space creates a powerful psychological shift. Second, identify your 3 most important tasks for tomorrow and place them in time blocks, not just a to-do list, actual appointments with yourself in your calendar. Third, set your alarm 30 minutes earlier than usual and write down your core goals first thing in the morning. These aren't just tasks. They're pattern interrupts that break your current comfort cycle. Your quick win strategy is crucial here. Start with what I call momentum tasks. Actions small enough to be undeniable, but significant enough to matter. If you've been procrastinating on a project, commit to working on it for just 25 minutes. If you've been avoiding exercise, commit to just 10 minutes of movement. These aren't your end goals. They're your starter goals. They exist to build momentum. Now let's scale this into your 30-day transformation. Week 1 focuses on environment and habits. Each day, you'll optimize one area of your life for action. Your workspace, your phone settings, your morning routine, your evening shutdown sequence. Week 2 intensifies your productivity protocols. You'll implement time blocking, deep work sessions, and strategic rest periods. Week 3 focuses on scaling your results through systems and automation. Week 4 is about cementing these changes into your identity. Your daily non-negotiables must include, first, your morning power hour. This is sacred time for high-value activities before the world demands your attention. Second, your energy audit tracking your energy levels throughout the day to optimize your schedule. Third, your evening review, documenting wins, learning from setbacks, and preparing for tomorrow. Progress markers are essential. Set up weekly milestones that are specific and measurable. Don't just track completion, track impact. How many deep work hours did you log? How many important conversations did you have? How many steps closer are you to your major goals? Create a simple scorecard system that lets you see your progress at a glance. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progression. You might miss a morning session or slip back into old patterns occasionally. The key is not to let temporary setbacks become permanent excuses. Each day is a new opportunity to strengthen your commitment to excellence. Start right now. Not after this speech, not after lunch, not tomorrow morning, right now. Take out your phone, open your calendar, and block out your power hours for tomorrow. The gap between knowing and doing is bridged by immediate action. Your transformation doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins the moment you decide to move. Let's address the reality that's going to hit you as soon as you begin this journey: resistance. It's not a question of if you'll face resistance, but when and how you'll handle it. Understanding how to overcome this resistance is what separates those who transform their lives from those who merely make temporary changes. When setbacks occur, and they will, you must reframe them entirely. Every setback is feedback, not failure. If you miss a morning routine, that's not a sign to quit, it's data. What caused the miss? Was it poor sleep preparation, external interruptions, unclear planning? Turn every setback into a setup for a stronger comeback. This isn't positive thinking, it's strategic thinking. Success leaves clues, but so does failure. Both are valuable teachers if you're willing to be a student. The key to building resilience isn't avoiding falls, it's learning to bounce back faster. Create a recovery protocol for yourself. The moment you notice you're off track, implement your reset sequence. Don't wait for motivation to return. Don't wait until Monday to restart. Don't wait for the perfect moment to get back on track. The perfect moment is now, regardless of how imperfect your situation might be. Your internal dialogue during challenging times is crucial. Most people's self-talk sabotages their success. They magnify their mistakes and minimize their progress. Start monitoring your internal conversation like your life depends on it, because it does. When that voice of doubt creeps in, recognize it for what it is. Not truth, but trained response. You can retrain it. Replace "I don't feel like it" with "I do it because I committed to it." Replace "this is too hard" with "this is how I grow." Energy protection becomes vital during challenging periods. Identify your energy leaks and seal them. Social media scrolling, unnecessary debates, toxic relationships, these aren't just time wasters, they're energy thieves. Create boundaries that protect your energy like a fortress guards its treasures. Learn to say no to things that drain you so you can say yes to things that sustain you. Motivation maintenance isn't about staying constantly inspired. It's about building systems that work even when inspiration fades. Create what I call momentum triggers, environmental cues that automatically drive you toward productive action. Your workout clothes laid out the night before, your workspace pre-organized, your goals visible on your wall. These aren't just organizational tools, they're architectural support for your success. The most important element in overcoming resistance is maintaining perspective. What feels like a heavy burden in the moment is often the very thing building your strength for the future. Every time you push through resistance, you're not just completing a task, you're building your capacity for future challenges. Each small victory rewires your brain to expect success rather than defeat. Remember this, resistance is not your enemy, it's your ally in disguise. It's the force that strengthens you, the pressure that shapes you, the challenge that transforms you. Embrace it, welcome it, use it. Remember that young entrepreneur I mentioned at the beginning? The transformation from his couch to his success wasn't magic, it was methodology. The same power that fueled his transformation lives within you right now. It's not waiting for permission, resources, or perfect timing. It's waiting for your decision. As we stand here at this moment of truth, understand that this isn't just about killing laziness. It's about birthing excellence. It's about creating a life so powerful that your current self would hardly recognize your future self. The gap between who you are and who you could be is bridged by one thing only: decisive action. Right now, someone in this world with less talent, fewer resources, and more obstacles than you is pushing forward toward their dreams. They're not smarter, more gifted, or more blessed. They've simply made a decision you haven't made yet, the decision to replace excuses with execution. Your potential is like a spring compressed by laziness. The moment you decide to release it, to truly commit to your transformation, that potential will explode into reality with a force that will amaze you. The question is no longer, can I? The only question that matters is, will I? The time for waiting is over. The time for excuses is done. Your future self is watching this moment, hoping you'll make the decision that changes everything. Don't let them down. Rise up, step up, show up. The war against laziness ends today, and you're going to win.